My name is Sonia and I'm the gynecologist advisor. I was working as a gynecologist in the field before joining headquarters, and back in the field, so I was working in close cooperation with all the medical and not medical team. And for the medical part, the coordinator was the project manager referent. My first mission with MSF was in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where I was working in a big project with 2 hospitals and 9 health centers. I had been working as a gynecologist in Spain previously, but nothing had prepared me for all the obstetric and neonatal complications that I was going to face there. So, for instance, I had never seen women coming in with obstructed labor for several days, or women very sick due to the complications of unsafe abortion before. I remember one case where we had a woman coming in with a uterine rupture because when labor started, she had to wait home because the route was too unsafe due to the attacks. So she had to wait overnight and resume the road in the morning when it was safer. So when she came back to us, the uterus was already ruptured and she had lost the baby. So we managed to save her life, but well, I couldn't help but wonder that if she had managed to come back earlier, we could have prevented these complications. So we were touched on a daily basis by women and babies coming too late and with terrible complications. So one of the most important roles in the field will be ensuring that the medical protocols are applied and capacitating medical staff to deal with these complications. But not only clinical work, you will have other essential tasks. So training is an important part, and you will have to figure out ways to do it in a creative way so that people are engaged and interested in the trainings. I remember that we managed to find a doll in order to practice neonatal resuscitation in a realistic way. So we used to do these role playings where the teams used to perform neonatal resuscitation in teams like in real life. I remember that the midwives were really engaged and had a lot of fun with these trainings, but at the same time they felt more confident to perform neonatal resuscitation, for instance, when the case arrived. But at the same time, I had tasks that I had not anticipated before, like calculating medical orders, or reporting and data collection, or supervising, or having management skills, or creating the rosters with the medical activity manager, because these were things that I had never done as a gynecologist in Spain before. So I had to figure things on the go, but luckily the team, the rest of the medical team, were very supportive. And so as my mission progressed, I also improved in these tasks. And for my next missions, things were a lot easier. So for the coordination part, aside of working in close cooperation with the maternity team, the midwives and the doctors, you will also need to coordinate with other people inside of the team. For instance, with the health promoters, which do an incredible job back in the community. So you will need to cooperate with them in terms of passing messages and education for the women in sexual and reproductive health, but they will have a lot of valuable input also in order to help us to improve our activities in a more culturally appropriate way. For instance, also with the logistics team, they were helping us to organize transportation and movement so we could take all the equipment, medication and staff to all the structures that we supported, and as well as facilitating all the maintenance for the equipment and the facilities. I remember once we were performing a C-section and the lights went off. So we panicked and we had this nurse holding a torch so we could continue with the surgery, whereas the logistics team were trying to figure out where the problem was and solve it. So in 5 minutes the lights were back on and we could just continue the surgery normally, just to say that it's all about teamwork. So, like we were saying before, as a gynecologist in the field, you will need to be open-minded and flexible, trying to do tasks that maybe you were not used to do back as a gynecologist in your home country. And at the same time, you will need to figure out where priorities are. Take into account that most of the staff that you will be working with are already very experienced. They have been doing this job for a long time, and they might have been dealing with complications on a regular basis that you did not face back home. So don't rush into trying to change things the minute you arrive into the field. Take your time to evaluate what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, where there's room for improvement. Evaluate what the priorities are, and then create a plan accordingly. Don't try to be too ambitious from the beginning and try to change a lot of things. Just one step at a time, and just figure out things, and everything will go okay. So, sorry. So, good luck with your mission. I really hope you enjoy it, and hope to see you in headquarters sometime.